Love alone is not the foundation for a successful marriage. There are other factors that contribute to a marriage being successful or not. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 of these factors. I recommend that if you're already married, you put these things into practice in your marriage. The first thing I want to talk about is communication. Communication has to do with when couples are able to achieve understanding of each other. When couples are able to talk freely, openly, and feel safe sharing their most private thoughts. In marriage, you have to be able to verbalize your concerns and your feelings when things are difficult, or you have to be able to voice out your positive thoughts when things are good. One skill that we have to learn in marriage is the skill of comprehension, being able to listen to each other and understand each other. There are instances where our partners do not even talk, but we look at how they are behaving, we look at their mood, and you have to be able to deduce that this particular time my partner needs me to talk. This particular time my partner needs to figure things out. This particular time I have to leave my spouse to be able to go through his or her own thoughts. There are lots of situations where couples have come to me and are like, I'm not able to sit down with my spouse to have a very normal, healthy conversation. By the time when we start, by the time we finish, we would have fought. And that is because most of the times couples don't listen to understand. We listen and then we are eager when we are listening, we are eager to talk back. So, as couples, communication is the blood flow of every relationship, my dear. Your partner should be open to tell you everything and not be scared that you are going to use whatever he's telling you against him or her. The next factor I want to talk about is selflessness. Selflessness is the decision to deny what you want in order to help someone get what he or she wants. And that is a very major factor in marriage. When I want to deny what I want and let you get what you want, when you want to deny what you want and let me get what I want, it is when I put my partner first and my partner puts me first. Jesus said that a new commandment I give you, love your neighbor as I would love you. If you are to love your neighbor as Christ would love you, how much more your spouse? Who is even your neighbor? And how did Christ love us? Christ loved us by giving himself to us. So if it's a mutual thing, if I decide to put you first, if you decide to put me first, don't you think the marriage is going to be very positive? So that I don't have to, I am not selfish and you are not selfish. There are couples who are married, one is doing a property somewhere that the other is not aware. Couples have died and banks have taken their money because they didn't open up to their spouse, because they felt like they are competing with their spouse. But in marriage, we complement each other. You can't be selfish in marriage. You have to be selfless. And that is one factor that when you are able to bring into your marriage, believe you me, you are going to have a very positive marriage. The next factor is respect. Yes, respect is an action, it is not just a feeling. Respect is the decision to value the person you are married to. How much value are you placing on your spouse? How much respect are you giving to your spouse? You demonstrate respect by how you behave towards each other. And it is fairly easy to recognize when someone respects you or when the person doesn't respect you. And one thing we have to take note is that both parties must respect each other. Respect, it's a mutual thing in marriage. The woman respects the man respects the woman. You claim you love me. Why would you shout at me? Why would you make me feel as if I am nobody? Why would you insult me? Why would you use words that you are not supposed to use on your spouse? This is your wife we are talking about here. This is your husband we are talking about here. And so, however you value someone, that depends on the respect you give to the person. So, if I am valuable to you, you should be able to respect me. You are valuable to me, so I should be able to respect you. So, we can't do marriage right when we don't respect each other. The fourth factor I want to talk about is friendship. My dear, who is a friend? A friend is a person you enjoy spending time with him or her. And one thing that COVID taught us is that family is the basic unit of society. Remember when COVID came and we're in the lockdown, people were stuck with their spouses. And that is when people realized that they can't spend 3 days continuous morning, nights with their spouse. A lot of people wanted the lockdown to be over, not because they were eager to go to work, but because they wanted to get out of the house. Your spouse should be your friend. We have friends and we have best friends. Let your spouse be your best friend. I don't see how you can have a best friend outside your spouse. And that brings us, this point is connected to the communication, because if someone is your best friend, you are able to go all way out with the person. So please let your spouse be your best friend. Be appreciative of each other, be considerate, be forgiving to each other, and don't hold grudges. If someone is your friend, the person offends, the person apologizes, you forgive and you move on. You don't hold grudges against your friends. And research has shown that couples who are great friends have high percentage of overall marriage satisfaction. This is the man you married. This is the woman you married. Why can't he or she be your best friend? Why can't he or she be your number one cheerleader? At the end of the day, when all is no more, at the end of the day, when we have closed from work, when the day has come to an end, the next person, the only person you can go to is your spouse and your children. So, my dear, if your husband, if your wife is not your friend, please go and restructure the relationship. And the last factor I want to talk about is leadership. Leadership, yes. As a wife, give your husband the chance to lead. Give him the platform to be the leader of the house. My dear, at any institution, in every organization, there is a leader. In every institution, there is a leader. When we get into a bus, if the bus has 50 passengers, all the 50 passengers, we are trusting the driver with our lives. We all sit in the car hoping that the driver will take us to our destination. And so if you don't trust the driver, you get down. You can't be in a marriage and not trust your husband to lead you into success. Oh, my dear, whatever it is, we can't have two heads as human beings. A plane cannot have two pilots. So give your husband the chance to lead. My dear husbands, recognize that God has ordained you to be a leader in your house. You have been appointed as the priest of the house. And if you would take up your position as the priest of the house, if you take up your position as a leader, you will know that you are a leader and not a boss. If you understand that you are a leader and not a boss, you will lead out of love. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13 to 14 said, watch, stand fast in faith, be brave, be strong. Everything you do, do it from love. You can be brave, you can be strong, and still lead out of love. You don't have to lead with iron hands. Final. No. You lead out of example. When you want your wife to do this, you do it. When you want your wife to respect you, respect her. When you want your wife to be faithful, you be faithful to her. Lead out of an example. Lead spiritually. You are the priest of the house. When was the last time you led your family in a devotion? When was the last time your wife was going through crisis and you said, baby, come, let me pray for you? When was the last time you do that? So, my dear wives, let's give our husbands the chance to lead us. And my dear husbands, lead out of love, lead by example, lead us spiritually. And I'm sure we are going to have a very positive marriage. So, communication, selflessness, respect, friendship, and leadership. Let's bring these factors into our marriage. Let's bring these factors into our relationship. And I am sure we are going to have a very successful marriage. If you know of any other factor that you think I didn't talk about, kindly put in the comment section for me. My name is Sekia Nyami, and this is my YouTube channel. Please, if you haven't subscribed already, kindly subscribe and click on the notification button. And I'll see you in the next video. Nyamenka.